Hello everyone, are you guys ready for Blastoise Pokemon? Yes, I'm going to be drawing Blastoise, and it's cool, a very cool name by the way. Let's divide this page in half and let's get started. I'm going to start with his head, of course, and the fun thing about Blastoise is that he is just a mass, okay? So with him, we're going to go really large with the circles, okay? If you see here, I've already gotten two circles down, one for the head. Excuse me, background noise you may hear. Computer is responding, and you'll see his body got one mass here and his head here. And I'm gonna go ahead and just lay everything else in really quick. For his body part here, we're gonna put the arms in, and then after that you got 1, 2, and then his fist is 3. You do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. And essentially what has to happen here is you see basically, you know, practice your circles and your ovals and ellipses and things like that. Alright, so with his legs, we have just a mass. Again, we just have some shapes going on where they're like almost oval shapes, but they have some bends to them. So like his knee is bending. So basically you're gonna draw like a shape like he's bending his leg here, and you'll come in here. And he has kind of like these claws at the bottom. Okay, so if you want, you can go off the page with these because he's so massive. Let's go ahead and on. He doesn't even fit the entire page, but you can put his claws and infer. If I infer, I'm just, you know, saying you want to indicate or kind of give an indication that his feet and has claws to him. So go right off the page there. All right, and when it comes to him having cannons on his back, you want to, you know, which fits his name, Blastoise, and I'm going to go ahead and get his face involved quickly. Now with his face, let's divide his face in half here where the eyes are, and we're going to put his eyes in. Get his expression down first. And it's not that difficult, you know, for me. You know, it's just one of those things for me. If you think about shapes, that's when you get it done quicker. You know, you think about like what is the easiest thing you could think about, guys? When you're drawing an angry face, and in the middle you think about what letter, almost like a W, you know, kind of like that. You see? And what ends up happening is you can define this stuff really quick. All right. And again, with these type of characters, they all generally have kind of like the same type of eyes, where you get the highlight in there, and you know, drop that in as quick as you can. Highlight off the iris or retina, excuse me, and just have fun with it. So now that we have his expression, we can go ahead and drop his nose in. And with his nose, he has kind of like inferred nostrils there that kind of come down. Go ahead and widen it up a little bit. There you go. Come in from the other side. And one thing you'll find out about sketching, you'll see that there's a lot of lines sometimes that can get in the way of some of the detail you want to add. So just, you know, take your time, go in, erase it, and then come back in. And he has kind of like this smirk, like he knows he's about to do something devious. He's really bad, guys. I'm kidding. Don't quote me on that. To be honest with you, I'm learning these characters day by day. So, you know, you guys let me know. Say, hey Perry, you know, he's actually this type of guy, that type of guy in the story. This is what he does. I'm new to this, guys. I just like drawing. And when you think about it, that's how you add on to your skill set, is that you learn new characters as you're drawing them and things like that. And, you know, again, I like relationships where, you know, a person might be able to help me out and explain just, you know, the quick sentence, if you don't mind, It's just basically saying help Perry out. Like, you know, look at it this way. You know, Perry drew everything else. And now that he's drawing Pokemon, it's got his interest going. Now he wants to know. And it's not that I can't take the time myself, but what I'm really looking at is I want it to be interesting. So you might just say, you know, I know a lot about Pokemon. I'm gonna help Perry out today. I'm gonna, you know, put in his comments about Blastoise. What is his role in the Pokemon universe? And what does he do? Why does he have cannons on his back? That type of thing. Now that I have his face done, I'm gonna go ahead and move quickly here. See how I can go ahead on and get the rest of them done. He has a little bit going on, so bear with me. And I'm gonna get the rest of his attire going. Attire in regards to what he's wearing. Get the cannons going out of his. And with the cannon, as you see, half circle, and then drop that in, and then drop another circle in here. You know, Transformers kind of does this, so it might be a little different when you see my cannon. Instead of it being directly in the center, I like to off-center the oval at the top here. See how I have it going right up to the edge. We'll come right on the other side. If you notice, I'm going to try and work left to right or right to left, you know, just to keep things symmetry going. Because when you do that and your mind is working real fast, you want to keep things as symmetrical and even as possible. So that way you're not, by the time, let's take for instance, you know, guys, if I stopped and started working on the middle of his body and my mind is on that, and then I try and come back to this other cannon, what ends up happening is I lose focus on placement, and a lot of times when you do that, you get back to it, it'll really not match well. So as you see here, it's pretty good. Why? Because my mind, I didn't lose track of what I was doing. All right, and now we kind of got this part going, and we want to get these ovals in. So when you see me doing these ovals now, I'm going in and darkening right to left. You see that switch? I came right over here and then start working on opposite side of what I was doing. Because again, we don't want to forget what we were doing in the first place. Then we're going to get his fist in. So really circle this in, guys. Over here, circle this in. All right, and then he has these claws. And these claws are going to come in like so. And you can close this part of the claw too. Because it looks like he's clasping his hand, like he's making a fist. So that helps us out a little bit, doesn't it? Those of us who's drawing. Because when you can, you know, not have to worry about opposable thumb on a human or, you know, things like that. Those are things that require you to do the trick of the eye, almost like a magician. You have to really make it look like what you're saying it is. Whereas with this, you can just use shapes, and shapes is enough. So I'm going to go in. Put these in, and when you're working from right to left, it feels different. Like, you know, when you do your ellipses from one side to the other, you're not coming and doing these shapes, it doesn't feel like I did it when it was on this side. And that's okay, because, you know, everything is not perfectly symmetrical in growth and you know, creatures or whatever have you. Sometimes they're, you know, the fist could be going back, or they might be reaching back into space, or he might be having his fist cocked like he's ready to throw a punch. So let me get in here and get the rest of his shell in on the outside. We're going to match this side. See that arc there? Come down. Okay. Then looks like we want to bring this in. And he has like an exterior shell like that. We're going to just go ahead and add that. Go in here and do the same thing. We're getting there, guys. He's looking good. He's looking good. And I'm sure if you're following along, yours is looking equally or just as good. And I'll say this, if you are struggling, and it's to the point where you feel like you have to start from the beginning, don't feel bad. Do not be dismayed. Start over. I advise that. Do not be afraid to start over. Because when you stay married to something that's not really working, it's going to tire you out and drain you, and then you're not going to get the results you want. So we're going to come up under his neck like so. Okay. Shade this in. And, you know, to be honest, Blastoise had a bit going on. So I invested just a little bit more time with them, because if you're a Pokemon fan, I don't want you jumping on my back, and you know, I don't want that, guys. I want you to be satisfied, you know, and there's not anything wrong with that. You know, you're coming to the tutorial, you're expecting Blastoise. You're not expecting me to cut corners and you're like, wait a minute, that's not, you know, that doesn't look like Blastoise at all. It's, you know, so I just try to make sure I stay on top. And I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Please come back, leave a comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep drawing.